incline. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it.
It's time to finalize the season and end on a high note with one of the toughest tracks to race on, and maybe the fastest these drivers will put up against all season round. Welcome to Atlanta and Hampton, Georgia. Atlanta Motor Speedway is the showcase of the final race of this season for the Venom Truck Series Season Championship time with the car inside 105 here on PTM Racing TV. Hi everyone, I am the Crusader Christian Schreiber. Join you guys at long last with one last final hurrah for the season for Venom Truck Series and a who's who of drivers ready to duke it out on the biggest stage. We'll look at our lineup here and now to see who we have on the start. And on the pole, it will be the big 36 of Kyle Speeds. It is outside in the 09, Kevin Sargent. Run number 2 is Rodney Robertson. The 28 is outside the 53. It's Kyle Zittel. Run number 3 then will be Ryan Dye. The 15 is outside. Will be the number 12, Jeremy McKinnon. Run number 4 is going to be Andy Palicki. And the 32 is outside. In the number 55, Paul Ellison. Run number 5 will be Jan Van Leer. In the 5 is outside. In the number 35. That will be Shane Winslow. In row number 6, it'll be Michael Kroll. In the 11 is outside Will Salamoni in the big 99. Next row on backs we'll see here. In row 7 is Josh Maxwell. In the 8 is outside the Dean of Drivers, Michael Dean, the 73. Row number 8 is going to be Corey Rutherford in the big 50. And is outside 26, it'll be Eric Breeding. Row number 9 is going to be in the 2 of John Kay. Is outside Brian Mitchell in the 78. At row 10, it's going to be Paul Sargent in the 49. Is outside is Pascal Simard Pace in the 76. Row 11 is Brandon Guinea Jr. in the 22. Is outside Bobby Anderson in the number 1. Row 12, Greg Roberts will pilot the 3. It is outside Chad Stearns in the 05. Final starters. In row number 13, Garrett Rainey in the 16. It is outside David Fay, the 88. And Kyle Dumick will be the 18 with Daniel Moore in the number 72. Alright, race fans, time has come. A champion must be crowned. Let's do it at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Here we go. The car inside 105 is now off and running. We're going to set these drivers off down the pace and down the distance through the early goings. The Speed Demon, Kyle Speeds, will be the early leader with Ryan Dye right behind him looking for the championship stakes. Dye so close so many times this season and so close to being broken, laid out for Jan Wonder, looking for the title today. Gonna have to stay focused on his driving, stay focused on his opposition. He knows it's gonna be a tough little ordeal to work around as much as these drivers will give him trouble throughout the race. Good to finally have our onboard camera shots back. Good to have everything back up to stuff and back up to square one here. Paul Ellis in the 55 right now, moving to the change just a little bit, kind of sticking to the track a little more, kind of working around in his corner. Every driver really is going to be staying more towards an opposition lane and kind of an opposition spot. The optical line is going to be more towards top to the bottom lane. When you're in the turns though, bottom lane without a doubt will be where you go towards for the fastest overall speed. But as the truck starts to get a little bit burnt in on the tires, look for the drivers to migrate up a little bit higher towards the outside just to keep everything under control and keep themselves out of trouble here. It's going to be a very tough little road to get through. Jeremy McKinnon saying great job this season putting on the races. Thanks for all you did. McKinnon, we appreciate you coming on board, and it was great to see you finally get that win in after a while too. But nice, good job there, and hopefully we'll see you guys all in due time. But for now, we'll let him race it out while we're currently watching the onboard camera here of your race leader, the Speed Demon, Kyle Spees. He got that nickname a long time ago after his absolute tremendous performances from the NASCAR Outlaw Series, where he just was an absolute demon on the track. I always called him the Speed Demon because you just never knew with him what you're going to get other than just raw power and just freakishly darn good driving. And he can get it good. If he can get it dialed in here, he can pull off the first win of his season and get this dialed in today. Again, saying he needs to stop shooting himself in the foot. He's talking about the last couple races before he finally got that one win in, is what he's talking about there, folks. Again, if it makes you feel any better, I did that a couple of nights ago on the show. You couldn't tell from me racing out there at Talladega. That's what I get for trying to race someone out of pit road rather than actually draft with them going out of pit road. Coca-Cola insert coin, Toyota Tundra, Michael Dean, the Dean of drivers right now, moving his way into the chains, keeping up some speed, keeping up some momentum here, working his way off towards the 11 of Michael Call. As the drivers now begin to migrate. You can see they are starting to go a little higher up, kind of not a follow the leader scenario, but a more of a kind of dictate their own pace, dictate their own control of the track, and hope for the best. Little trouble there, right there for the 78. Brian Mitchell way back into the field. He's going to get centered back off a little. Got centered back off a little bit. Kind of got himself hung over. Now has to find a way around. John Kay, the number 2 here, kind of moving his chains up, keeping the speeds at heart, and keeping himself on control and even playing fields with Bobby Anderson. The Fago too has had a great race season as well on his part, but didn't quite live up to, I think, his obvious reputation as well as what he was trying to present to himself. Thought he could get a lot more wins in, get a little bit more positioning in for himself, but sadly that was not the case. He did tell me though that he was proud of the season, he was proud of his overall crew and performance, and he's just hoping next time he comes back out, he can start really making or breaking his days. Well, one guy that I thought honestly early on this season may be a key factor and a favorite was this man, the 05 Chad Stearns. Stearns just overall this season, in my opinion, was just an absolute animal when it came to getting the short tracks like Richmond figured out to then figuring out how to really rock it on the bigger tracks. But I think his overall problem this season was he got caught up in the wrong strategies and at the wrong time, and that in turn cost him dearly. He said to me earlier today, yeah, my season, it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. It wasn't what I exactly needed it to be. But you know what, at the end of the day, that's racing. And what we do is always going to come first before anything else. So we got to stay focused on the next season, to stay focused on this final race. Try to be a little spoiler and kind of make these drivers work for that championship because they know they need it more than anything. An interesting claim and a bit of an interesting strategy booked on from him, but you know, I can see what he's talking about though. I mean, it's extremely difficult to have to let loose and kind of let off knowing that your championship race and your season's over with, but you're going for position still and you're still trying to make your name for yourself in these final legs and these final races. So I mean, at the end of the day, it could be a shootout to get that top spot and get that top order when all is said and done. Well, I think Kyle Zittel, though, has kind of stolen a little bit of that Chad Stearns look here. He's throwing a big 53 up with some Air Jordans up on the side there. Maybe a little bit also kind of ominous to the Kurt Busch car that won at Kansas. So maybe trying to harness some of that power on another mile and a half. Although Atlanta and Kansas are two completely different ideals and two completely different kind of styles of racing. Without a doubt, there is no way you can absolutely take at a Kansas setup and style and put it onto Atlanta. Atlanta is just way too fast, old Atlanta that is, and way too narrowed out and really strengthened speed. This track, designed in nature, designed as a complete temperamental track to get the fastest of competitors, really brings out what we can see here today as we take a look at our track tech talk presented by Venom Truck Series. This is a 1.5 mile over length. It is about 1.54 miles in length. It is a quad oval design, not a tri-oval. Quad oval actually means there's a straight in the front there, and then there's there's actually 3 turns actually mixed in. You can see that slight little embankment there entering off from that finish line. You can see that little straightaway that leads into that sharp left-hand turn. That turn with the new Atlanta setup can really mix and match up some drivers here and there, and they know it. I've actually raced on the new Atlanta. I've raced on the old Atlanta. I personally prefer new Atlanta just because I don't have to try to figure out how to not tear up my tires. But a lot of fans, myself included, do still appreciate and love the fact that old Atlanta does test you as a driver on so many planes and so many levels, and that's exactly what these guys are getting out of this track right now. 2 battles going on right now. Michael Krall dealing with Michael Dean at 73, as well as the big 53 of Kyle Zettel. Meanwhile, behind them, you see the 99 Will Money going head-to-head, mano-a-mano with Kevin Sargent, while Josh Maxwell watches from back. Trying to stay out of trouble, trying to stay out of the way of any kind of mess or gulags here. Maxwell seems to be more focused on just kind of keeping a temperamental subject and temperamental of his race today. Not a bad idea, but again, with 105 laps left to get through and really have to perfect, this is not an easy task. You're going to have to really pace yourself and condition yourself to stay with the field and stay with the drive all the way through. And then those that are currently leading this race out, well, let's just say they're not exactly anywhere near the fields. You got 3 different storylines going on. You got the guys up front just absolutely taking their trucks and running away from the fields like Kyle Spees is, with Ryan Dye pacing himself and continuously trying to watch his marks, trying to watch his spot to get back up there to Spees when the time is right. Then you got guys like Andy Flicky too, even just being a little bit more conservative, but choosing different lines to go with it. And then you saw the madness back there that we just talked about. And then in the very back of the pack, you got basically the drivers that have been here the whole season and they've been doing their best to try to hang with the big dogs. But they've been a little bit more conservative and a little bit more relaxed than anything. And really, you can't quite blame them for that. You really just got to let them be their own driver and let them do their own thing. And I think I got to give a hat off to them for at least coming out here and constantly trying to race out with these fields and these teams, knowing that usually they're not going to be in the running for the win, but they still come out and do what they love, which is racing. So, I mean, that is the biggest compliment I think you could really give to this league and to this crew. Great set of guys, and they know it too. Well, we heard from Jeremy McKinnon earlier on about him saying he needs to get himself dialed in and he needs to start shooting himself in the foot. Well, he's doing a great job right now here in the top 5, battling with Paul Ellison and the Red Diamond 55 Tundra. McKinnon a couple weeks ago, of course, getting that win off his back, got a victory back at Talladega, and said that was probably the race that really kind of helped him get out of this bad habit of getting himself in trouble and putting himself on the binders. He said he was not happy that it came from a clay track, but he was happy to at least get a win in, though. before the season had ended and concluded. Paul Ellis in the 55 right now, the Toyota Tundra Red Diamond driver right now, staying in the field and staying true with there. Keeping his pace up and keeping the momentum alive right now. Everybody staying in and staying under control, but the fields haven't quite separated out or gotten too far away from each other yet. In the back of the pack, battle in the top 15. You got 3 drivers right now trying to gain pace, trying to get some speed. 9 spots up right now for Chad Stearns, and here comes the Air Jordan 05 machine. Watch out for the Tundra. He's building up some momentum and really starting to build pace up there. Going now mano a mano with Eric Breeding in this 26 and the 09 of Kevin Sargent. Although troubles there for Sargent. The Sergeant at Arms, unfortunately, with problems. Down off of turn 2, hits the flat spot, bobbles it off. As you see him going down to the bottom lane, costing himself dearly, and the Miller Lite machine having some serious headways. And just think about this too for a second. We got almost got 30 drivers running in this race today. So far, it's been a clean race, pretty clean and consistent. Everybody doing a great job, hanging tough and staying true to their word and true to their form. And almost like nobody making any mistakes, really. It's all just drivers making their moves and making their targets known when they got to get to them. Onboard camera here at Jan Van Leer, a driver, in my opinion, that did not catch a break this season, goes winless this entire season, despite the fact that early on had a great showing at the Daytona race, had a great showing coming to the next 2 races after that, and then everything just kind of got flipped around on his head and had no way of getting into victory lane after that. Never was a championship favorite or a hunter, but really he was a favorite to win a race here or there, and that's something, in my opinion, I think it's worth more than just a championship sometimes. Nevertheless, though, the Inca Cola number 5 Chevrolet Silverado, I think we'll see him back next time out. Hopefully with a little bit of a resurgence, a little bit of a gap back off on him. Only time will tell, though, if he's able to finally put it into victory lane. Moving up through the pace right now, everybody's starting to get a little bit closer together and starting to creep their positions in. Every driver right now looking for spots, looking for openings, and looking for chances to shoot from the dark. Right now, the 55, Paul Ellison, right onto the corners and on the toes of the 73. Oh, Michael Dean. He's trying to hang in there. Looking for an opening, looking for a drive off here. He'll fire it back down at the Dina drivers with the Open Happiness Coca-Cola 73. Looking solid as can be right now, looking pretty good, but you know, we haven't forgot about this guy in the lead right now, because Speed Demon, Kyle Speed. We just haven't really been able to talk about him much though, because there's really not much to say. Speed just continues to just completely ravish and take this track by storm, right, leading this thing out and putting everybody on notice. And the funny thing is, he's not a championship driver. He's not in the running for the title, so this is just house money for him. He's just racing for fun. And to prove a point, I guess you could say, maybe that he's willing to come back and he's willing to put on a show and perform at his level he knows how to do. But he has absolutely gained and garnered the attention, and he's been making some headways here. Nobody able to get to him yet. Ryan Dye, one of the championship favorites this season, up there with Andy Flicky and even McKinnon when he was at that spot. Really making a huge laundry list of racing moments here for himself and his crew. Left absolutely nothing on the table this season and broke quite a few times, but with the title pretty much coming close to the end. I mean, Jeff Langston didn't even be able to make it in the 21, unfortunately, and I think that kind of tells you all you need to know about this. Everybody right now in the back of the pack: Pascal Simard Pace, Bradley Gaines Jr., Bobby Anderson, and Eric Breeding, Josh Maxwell, all coming through the field again. Looking to try to size up and stick with it. Bobby Anderson, by the way, the #1 Toyota Tundra driver. He has made his TV debut quite a few times, but it's good to see him still kind of rocking and rolling here in the Venom Truck Series. We have now and will now see him, though, on the Atlanta Motor Racing League side on Sunday night. So, and if he was willing to stick around on the push limit side, we may see more of him there too. So, Bobby's definitely going to be one of those guys you kind of got to watch out for. He'll pace it out and really make things a lot more difficult on everybody when he gets that chance. He's definitely a contender on his racing style, so we'll see though how it all plays out. Bradley Gaines Jr., another guy that, frankly, in my opinion, just did not really get anything going for himself. Didn't really find success all that much. Has been making a bit of a stride to at least prove something about him and that he can still race hard. Didn't come away with it. He did come away with a couple wins this season, but unfortunately that's not much to say here as we got problems down there. We got a caution flag out. The 73 of Michael Dean has crashed out. Caution flag is out right now for the Dino drivers, Michael Dean and 73 here. About to go to the PTM replay and see what exactly transpired here that caused him to wreck. Unfortunately, though, it looks like it may be just due to a little bit of a scenario there. And who turned out the lights on my end? My deepest apologies there, guys. I don't know who turned the lights off and who literally completely destroyed my system, but apparently the glitch graphic gremlins were out for us today. They've been out for my head for a few times already. I've been having troubles dealing with them as of late. I don't know what's going on. Well, the field will get squared back away as I currently fight the demons off. Not the speed demon, by the way, Kyle Speeds. I'm talking about the actual gremlins that seem to be plaguing us. No matter where we go, no matter what day it is, no matter what happens, it always seems to be our end that happens there, at least since that iRacing update. So hopefully we got it fixed now, and hopefully it's ready to go. Well, not 100%, but that'll work anyway. Green flag back on out. We're back at it. 37 straight laps before the wreck had happened there. Unfortunately, Michael Dean going to have to start a little bit back from the back here and move his way through the chains. The rest of the field worked their way on around. Huge speeds built up. Josh Maxwell saying things took a nose turn for the worse. Yeah, looks like it did there, but hopefully that's the only time we see that darn little caution come on out and give us troubles here. Kyle did make the 18 right now, continuing to pick pace and keep momentum alive here with the big 53 of Kyle Zittel right up ahead of him. Zittel has the honor and distinction of being at least the first winner of this season, and he will be in the final race of this season. So you got to give him credit where credit's due. He did not quit throughout his showcases, his temperings. He made a good look out of himself, and really, in my opinion, was a guy a lot of people had their eye on throughout his championship campaign. Still about 66 laps remaining though. Ryan Dye having a forfeiting a spot out there to Jeremy McKinnon here. Now McKinnon making a move off on the big bad Buffalo Wild Wings Slim Jim. Number 15 of Ryan Dye. Uh-oh, and that's not good. That's not good. Trouble. Trouble back there. David Fay has wrecked on out, and the 88 is in pit road again. Just barely missed the wreck there as that happened. We'll take a look at the replay here and show you guys what went wrong. Well, I think Josh Maxwell might have jinxed it for us here. Let's see if what happened exactly. Came off down turn number 3 and watch this. The 88 getting a huge flip. Oh my. Oh, oh my goodness. He got sentenced back to Kingdom Come there, unfortunately. There was no escaping that wreck there, unfortunately. A huge hit for the 88. Looked like he just lost steering going into the turn and then rammed it right into the wall protection. One more look at it, you can see he's in the wall here. Everybody trying to evade him, trying to avoid, and getting a huge collision. Oh my word, who was that over there? That's a 09, Kevin Sargent getting into it there. We'll take one more look at his replay in before we get back to the live coverage, but let's just watch this. Watch this hit he gets here. That was Daniel Moore, by the way, flipping upside down there. Daniel driving, I believe, driving the, hold on a minute, folks. Driving the 72, excuse me. I was caught up in that wreck and caught up in that collision there. That will restructure everybody back into position. They're actually out of pit road and ready to get back to it, so we'll let them kind of take it from here now. Off the distance back into the corners they go. Our flagmen awaiting the green flag arrival. Field will work their way on back. Down to the corner we go, and green flag is back on out. Let's continue the race. Gotta love these cameras these producers managed to put up. Speaking of pumping up right now, look at the 50 of Corey Rutherford. Not only is he pumping up the duct tape on that truck he stole, he's also getting himself in trouble. No! Problems back there, and a huge wreck ensues. Oh my. Well, we talked about it before. When the broadcaster curse decides to rear its ugly head, you just never know what you're going to expect after that or what the heck's going to happen next until it's too little too late. I think we're getting a taste of that now. Bobby Anderson, the one, gets into it with the 50. Both drivers collide with one another, and then all of a sudden, bam. Cameras weren't quite rolling there when they had the wreck happen. We'll take a look at it from another angle here. We actually have our blimp cam rolling on the site there as it happened. On our look at it here and watch that. You slam it right in the wall. It gets into it with a couple drivers. 1, 2, and try to evade, try to avoid. There's no escape. No escape. And Corey Rutherford's day is not looking too good now after that little hiccup. That's going to definitely set them back once more. So the field now currently getting themselves into a bit of a pickle here. They're going to have to start really closing up this stuff. Kyle Speeds will remain your race leader. Ryan Dye will stay in the second spot. We are now approaching halfway marker with still over 20 drivers left in the field. Who's going to take this one home and start reeling this in? Bring it back to the green. We're going to find out. Great start there by the Akuma 12. McKinnon now making a move off on the Buffalo Wild Wings number 15. And don't look now as well, but Hard Chargers are approaching The 05, Chad Stearns, he's got 17 spots up right now with Bobby Anderson, the 114 spots right behind him. Everybody making their move and making their runs and their presence felt, trying to find speed where they can and hope for the best. Down to the back straightaway though, it is McKinnon looking to try to overtake the number 36. The Speed Demon is in trouble for the first time today. Now McKinnon will try to make Speeds have to actually play a little defense instead of going on offense. Speeds trying to block his run, trying to get the airflow to not get any more on the truck and get a little bit more swarped around on the side of Speeds, trying to put him into that dirty air with a 550 horsepower package though. Easier said than done, especially considering what he's going to have to do, because now McKinnon forces him to the top side. Now the dirty airflow moving down towards the left side of Speed, slowing him down a little bit to get to the top side. McKinnon able to open her up on the bottom lane. We have a new leader. New leader for about a half a second of that lap there. Speed's able to build the speed back up and managing to get around the 12. Now the Kuma, number 12, Ford F-150, dealing with troubles. And the more these two fight, the more Ryan Dye has a chance to come back in this one. Still dead even. Neither guy giving an inch, neither guy giving a darn. And Dye just has a front row seat to it all, just seeing what is going down, knowing that he's got a chance and an opportunity to take them both. McKinnon, slight tap there on Speeds, lost his power and momentum. Here comes the Buffalo Wild Wings, time for some B-dubs in the house. You know, Atlanta's more known for Hooters, but apparently I think Dye is trying to make the word of B-dubs go around. The Buffalo Wild Wings, number 15, making a great charge up, but did not get the pass on the 12. Slightly off-centered and off the speed just by a little bit. Slight damage on the number 1 of Bobby Anderson. Doesn't seem to be affecting him too much, though, as he seems to be staying closer to the rail and closer to that kitchen rail. 99 of Will Salamone. Whether or not he'll be able to continue this up is going to be his own amusement, his own question he'll have to answer for himself. But the fact that he's still on point, still on pace, means he's got something there. Corey Rutherford, the 50, finally going to leave pit road and get himself back out on the track despite his little problems there. He just said, it's alright guys, I just got to put a little more duct tape on this thing and I'll be A-okay. He thinks everything can be solved with duct tape. Power and momentum starting to get closer as we go, and really starting to dictate the pace of these guys. Everybody knows right now they cannot make too many mistakes. They've got to stay focused and close to the hip. Chad Stearns and Jan Van Leer now, both guys starting to go out a little bit. Jan, after his little hiccup and trouble he suffered there on the beginning of this race, seems to now be dialing it back up and getting things figured out here as he looks for momentum to start swaying towards his ground. But it is Kyle Speeds, your race leader, still putting the 12 and the 15 back in his rear view a little bit more. But now Ryan Dye looks like he's going to start trying to open it up a little bit. It seems as though the groove is telling the drivers to go to the top side. Looks like they're just a slight bit too tight there on the bottom lane. They can't loosen them up too much. These trucks will not give up that well. And that seems to be what's helping the 15. And a few of these other guys start to dial it in a bit. Just great back and forth everywhere we go. Nobody has an advantage on the other. And it seems as though this track has evened everyone out. Despite the huge wreck and situation we saw a little earlier on, it seems like now the guys are a little bit more tamed up and a little bit more focused on the overall picture. Can't quite get too crazy or too out of control. You're on board the 11 of Michael Crawl. Some absolutely clinical racing going on right now, and race fans, I think it's about that time at long last. For one last time this season, let the drivers roar to life, let everyone else play to their strengths. It is time to crank it up. Well, for what will be the last time this season, the drivers crank it up and they pour on the momentum and the power, letting you fans at home know and hear them loud and proud and loud and clear as can be. Everybody right now just kind of stay focused on their positions, trying to stay focused on their gravitational poles that got to the track. Some sticking to the bottom, some trying to go to the top side. Top side right now seems to be the fastest line, but that I know one thing is for sure. If you try to power too hard on that top side, you'll burn tires up. So then comes more of a strategy play to keep a little bit more conservative nature on that bottom lane. Doesn't give you as much speed, but it doesn't burn your tires out completely, and I think that's exactly what they're watching for. Staying focused on their run and staying focused on their momentum. That is the name of the game, and that's their biggest focus, I think, right now, more than anything. The question is, can they continue to keep at it? That's a very tall order to be asking for as well, and they know it too. Yeah, the Josh Maxwell right now on the Chevrolet Silverado kind of keeping up his pace, and for the first time this season in really a long time too. Actually really looking strong and competitive as he needs to be. Making McKinnon, McKay, and Dye well aware that he's right there with them still. And that's what he needs to do. Keep the pressure on them. Don't let them breathe. Put your foot on the gas pedal and make sure you can still steer this truck off. The RPMs are a huge deal here on this track, as we mentioned earlier. This is one of the fastest mile and a halves everyone runs on at any time, at any given day. For the fact of, you're literally having to go at it on such a tight-ended track and a very demanding track. The corners aren't as smooth or as rich as they would be at Kansas or even Kentucky for that matter. and they're more of a diverse Charlotte Motor Speedway kind of playing field. You really have to keep it leveled out and keep drive alive here. Huge run there by Will Salamone there. Backed off though as he got close to the Cole's Custom Shop number 8. Not sure if that was really just to kind of keep him from getting in trouble or if he was watching himself and the drive, but it's looking more and more like Chad Stearns may have another opening being presented to him just from that little stop there from the 99, and he will indeed get to it. Takes it to the bottom lane, and the pass is made. 6 now up and 18 spots confirmed. Chad Stearns is a man on a mission. Oh, now everybody's starting to get crossed over here. Everybody looking like they're running around. Troubles for Ryan Dye. The 15 starting to back off a little bit and gets thrown to the wall just a little bit there. That's a huge mistake, and Dye knows that he can't make too many more like that. His championship hopes are on the line. Gonna take a look back and see what happened exactly though. Let's take a look at the replay and see what exactly caused the 15 to slow down and stutter back as far as he did. Definitely not the playing field usually you see him on, and it looked like he had found himself in a bit of trouble here. Let's take a look at the replay. This was the battle for second. John Kay and him getting up there with each other. Kyle Spees just, well, doing as Kyle Spees would do and just running away from everybody. See if we can see for sure. Dye does go into the flat bank there on that flat spot. I think its troubles are going to be happening here in turn 3 and 4. See if we can get a good look here. Somewhere around on this lap, you can see where he was really starting to struggle here, and he knew it too. So you can see the truck was slowing down a bit. You can see the two. John Kay was creeping up on him, and that in turn led to, I think, was his ultimate mistake here. Right off the edge here, and looks like everything was a-okay. Lost a lot of speed, lost a lot of ground, and Kay was able to make the pass that time around. I know the producers had fast forward a little too far. I have to pack that up a little bit. See if it happens on this lap, or maybe we're gonna have to fast forward here because I know you guys probably don't want to see the rest of it. Oh, there we go, right there. There it is, coming off turn 2. 15 gets into the wall. Everybody now having to shuck and dive and run from him. And that is where the troubles started for the 15. There's that little clip into the wall and that little mistake he made there, and he knows it too. That is a huge position to lose from, and that's not a good place to be right now, and he knew it too. So lap 72 now being put on the radar and put on the books here. Back to the live action here currently. Watching on from the distance, watching on from the track. Everybody at this point starting to form the single file line. They're really just trying to hold on position and get any kind of spots they can for what it's worth. Passing now is going to be extremely difficult and overall troublesome as John Kay and Michael Krall both head to pit road. Dye now looks like he's not exactly happy though with himself, nor is he happy with where he's at. He's trying to make a move off on these drivers and make a move off on these guys as he's battling hard to get around the gate of Josh Maxwell. On board here with Will Salamone showing you exactly what he's seeing and what he's trying to do as well. As Chad Stearns heads to pit road, Ryan Dye will join him, and Dye almost lost it in the corner there. He gets around Stearns, but nearly costing himself a lot more than just some positions. May have cost him a championship there if he wasn't too careful. That would certainly help out the cause for McKinnon and them as well, as maybe even Kyle Zittel to even pull off just an upset here. I don't think it's going to factor in too much, though. Just needs to stay focused. Kyle Speeds, 4.5 plus seconds back of your second place guy, Josh Maxwell. I don't know where the heck Speeds all of a sudden came alive at, but he is coming back with a vengeance, and a furious vengeance, to say the least. Well, Salamone now, and Maxwell going into pit road. Kyle Speeds and Kyle Zittel now. The battle of the Kyles. Zittel will now take over the second spot. Speeds further back in the pack, though. And John Kay trying to get his speed and momentum back, as he's currently in the 7th spot. Kay with a chance and a possible opportunity here. Further and further through the field right now, Rodney Roberts and Kyle Zittel are the only two guys that have not been to pit road. Kyle Speeds has put himself into the spot now. And you can see the lap counter starting to dwindle down more as we go. It's becoming very, very troublesome and difficult to keep up with the drive and keep up with that momentum. And they know it. Well, it's the first time we have seen green flag pit stops being used and everybody having to put in a specific spot. Some opting in at different times, some opting in at maybe others sometimes. Well, Greg Robertson the 3, he's been around this season the entire time. Never really gave up and never really gave in as well. He was always there from the bitter end. That definitely deserves a lot of credit, a lot of love for what he does, but you know, right now, the way I'm looking at next season, if he can get the practice put in, he can get the work put in, I think he may be a bit of a handful, a bit of a threat here that they're going to have to watch out for. Because he can definitely drive and he can definitely figure out how to make things the best of its performance, so but we will have to see. watching their time, watching their corners right now. Everybody currently just staying in control of their own destinies here. A little bit of a run around here as Ronnie Roberts now moves into the race lead. And he was no slouch either, by the way. He qualified third in that Gear Wrench 28 machine. So, I mean, if anything, he might actually be a bit of a lone favorite here. Jeremy McKinnon, though, definitely vastly approaching, trying to come up to him as quick as he can. John Kay right behind. And that Fago machine right now as well. Drawing near, closer and closer to the end. Kyle Speed's now moving his way back in position, and again, just on a fresher set of tires and a fresher set of speed and lap time right now. I think he may be the guy you might have to watch out for in this case. Chad Stearns, though, the 05, not giving in just yet. Okay, though, into the wall protection, does evade and avoid the number 05. Chad's got to be breathing a sigh of relief there, knowing that not only is he Josh Maxwell's favorite driver, but he's also got away with one there, getting around K without getting wrecked out. We've seen it happen too much times already this season and this day. One slight mistake, all of a sudden ends up getting you into a huge little wreck and do a bad spot. Ten seconds right now, separating the leaders from the pack. The leader right now, Ronnie Roberts, 19 laps left to go. I don't think he's going to have enough time, though. His last pit stop was back on lap number 35, and again, being in pit road on lap 35, that's a tall order to have to then come back through and then try to hold this field back. I just don't see him getting through the rest of this race on that much of fuel and that much of time here. And I think he's well aware of that too. Bradley Gage, number 22 right now, sticking with Ryan Dye in that big 15. Dye currently trying to get the Slim Jim Buffalo Wild Wings 15 not into victory lane but into championship world as the victor of a season title holder. But again, needs to get this race finished out, needs to finish everything up. But with so many other drivers looking to contend and looking to bring it home, Andy Flicky, though, not giving out just yet either. That 32, I forgot all about him. He's been sticking with the field. He's been sticking with the drives. And the 32, even though he is damaged up, really beyond his own repairs, still hanging in there in the 18th spot. Needs to be able to get a jump drive and needs to help the Dye makes a mistake here. Otherwise, this one could be a bit of a problem sum for him. Roberts slowly but surely fading back through the field. 15 laps left to go. The car inside 105 looking more and more like he's got a shot. But again, a shot is just that, because now comes the animal. You can't keep him caged forever. And unfortunately for Mr. Roberts, he's going to have company in a minute. Time starting to dwindle down even more. Went from about 15 seconds back to now literally only 0.6 of a second ahead. Here they come now. Speeds up on the high speed banking at 4. Trying to make the move. Roberts blocks. Trying to slow him down. Not having enough time. Speeds on the outside. New leader. And again, the speed demon takes the lead away. Has to get through traffic though. 3 wide him off down in turn 1 and 2. Speeds managing to make the move and make the drive off. And now he will continue to rain it down. The car inside 105 looks like now this will go to him if he can just finish out. Ronnie Roberts, credit where credit is due. Had a very, very unique strategy and a very tight little spot to be put into. McKinnon trying to hang tough, trying to stick with it. Chad Stearns right up ahead. McKinnon looking like maybe he wants to put one last fight on the plate of the 05 in Stearns' case. Well, laps will go to 11 laps left. And now even Ronnie Roberts heading to pit road at last of 28 is going to have to admit defeat in this case, and a tough little ordeal for him. Not the way he wanted it to go down. Hey, look at this here with the 15 to die. Making a bit of a drive off here at Geeney. He knows every position is going to count. And this goes further into his championship stakes. He just needs a few more laps. Where he's at right now, he'll be okay to win this one. The championship is on the line between him and Andy Palicki. Palicki trying to get to him. We had to crack down the numbers and figure everything out, and we finally figured it out indeed. Top 5 on your screen for your final leg of the race. Don Van Leer in the 5, by the way, in the Coca-Cola Silverado right now, just trying to deal with whatever damage he has left in anything speed-wise in that car. Oh, there's trouble down there for Roberts, so did a little spin around there and actually had to refire it off. Manages to get it set back up and ready to run out again, but man, that was a huge little problem there for Roberts. Went from being possible championship spoiler to race winner spoiler to just down and out spoiler. Lowering and closely guarding out the field. We are nearing the end of this one in Atlanta. We just need 8 more laps put in the books. Brandley Gainey and Kyle Zillow right now just kind of having their way right with Ryan Dye in the 15. Zillow looking for this 8 slot here. Going to go to the inside. Here comes the drive off. Making a good dash onto the bottom. Good run through the corner. It's hanging in there a little bit, but Dye will not quit. And the 15 hold him back through the ends of the front straightaway. It's still anybody's guess here. Ryan Dye right now knows this one's his. He just needs to stay focused. Don't get too crazy. Don't get too out of control. Stay on his own merits. Remember his P's and Q's. For Speeds right now, it's really simple. Just don't make any more mistakes. Don't go into pit road. Don't do nothing. Just get this thing into victory lane. That's all he's got to even worry about right now. And worry he is. Clashing of the guards, clashing of the drivers here. Everybody making a big showcase of themselves throughout and in this turn. Blicky though, right now the 32 is in pit road. His season's over with. This is done for him. Doesn't matter what Dye does now or happens to him. Now the title is all but locked up. Blicky has given out and the truck has given up. There's nothing more he can do. Man versus machine, woman versus machine. Say whatever you want, say what you will. At the end of the day, sometimes machine will win out because it gives out, unfortunately, and it happened here. But for Ryan Dye, the struggles of being second place for so long to then finally having to get that win off his back and get a few more to go with it, but constantly and consistently putting his merits and putting this field of drivers on notice. Just shows you he was in it to win it from the start. For Kyle Speeds though, with 2 laps to go, green flag flies high in the air. We are down to the final 2 laps. No quit, no wait, no English left for Speeds. He's just really staying focused on his merits here. Just wants to get to the end. They'll bring him to the white flag this time on by. Kyle Speeds leads the field off. 1 more lap to go here for the 36 as the rest of the field tries to get one last position, one last spot to end out their ride. But for one speed demon, Kyle Speeds hasn't been to victory lane in quite some time. That all changes now off of corner number 3 and to turn number 4. Kyle Speeds will win at Atlanta. The car inside 105 will belong to him, but for one Ryan Dye, a season full of highs and lows ends with the highest high he can get. Checkers out for him. Championship belongs to Ryan Dye. Well, there is your car inside 105 winner, capping off an incredible final race end, and for good reason. But the man now that comes forward to the 15 to show his support as a winner to the Speeds Camp, the 15 of Ryan Dye, can take home a title and be crowned champion at long last. What a race, what a season, what a time. Team championships as well went quite a ways and quite a time as Zittel Incorporated, I said earlier, won their first race of the season. Well, I wasn't lying to you. This is a special moment. They also win their championship on the final race of the season. What a victory for them and their crew, with Broke Guy Racing and Insert Coin Racing coming second and third respectfully. Andy Palicki settling for a second position, and Paul Ellison coming away third in the driver's standings to end out this season. What a time and what a season it has been. There is but one thing left. Presented by Venom Truck Series. Here is your race results, and it's Kyle Speeds your winner, with Ryan Dye exiting with the championship. But Chad Stearns will come away second, McKinnon third, Mark Krall goes fourth, John Kay managing to finish fifth, Wes Alamone going sixth, seventh to Brantley Gain Jr., Kyle Zittel taking eighth, Ryan Dye taking ninth, and 10th to Bobby Anderson rounds out the field. And I think Dye just figured out he's a champion now. I think he's gonna tear up some equipment. Maybe, boys, I think it might be time we get down to pit road to help us out here. Listen, try to get the guys in. Help me out here, boys. Let's listen to our championship feed. Boys, help me out here. Come on.
I'm recording.
There we go.
A exciting 105 laps here at the old configuration of the Atlanta Motor Speedway. For our season finale, we will start with our third place finisher, Jeremy McKinnon. Jeremy started 6th tonight, had a pretty good run there. After the green flag pit stops, a little something. What did not get you any further up the rankings?
I got into the wall. I'm not sure what lap that was, but I bounced off the wall. I had more damage than I thought I did, apparently, because the truck was tight.
Yep. It was definitely a thing of getting into the wall. Still a little bit of damage to you in, but still a very good finish, very good season, my friend. We'll go on to P2. Chad Stearns started in the back of the pack, worked his way all the way up to a strong P2. Tire save, or just kind of waiting on everybody to let him fall off?
Yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I knew tires were going to be crucial, so I just tried to stay out of trouble and, take it easy and just get lucky, pretty much. So made my way through the pack, and I knew Kyle was pretty much uncatchable, but yeah, P2 was nice.
Yeah, very strong run, another good strong run for you. To our winner, Mr. Kyle Speed, wire to wire. Started on pole, had that clean air, was doing wonders for you. How'd it feel out there?
It felt great. Like you said, clean air, I think, helped me a ton. Getting out in front, just being out in front by myself was just a tremendous help. I did have a battle there after our pit stop or caution, which kind of got me a little hairy, to be honest. I forgot who was battling me, but they did a great job. Just from that side-by-side battle, ate the tires up a little bit after that. I had to save. Played my strategy correctly with their pit stops. Didn't want to give myself more than 5 seconds ahead on those guys for my pit, and it looked like that helped me a ton to catch up as quickly as I did.
Yes, sir. Anybody you'd like to thank for your first win?
Shout out to you guys for letting me join the league. I'm going to try to be back next year. It's been a blast with you. And just Bar Racing, shout out to Bobby, the team captain. Pleasure racing with him in this league as well.
Awesome. Thanks for everybody joining season finale for the Venom Truck Series. We will be back starting at Daytona. Congratulations to Mr. Ryan Dye, the champion once again. And congratulations to Ziddle Inc., team champions. All right, see y'all next year.
Well, we'll see you in due time as well there, guys. Thanks so much for helping me out this time around and helping me out throughout the season. And to fans at home, everybody that tuned in, thank you so much for coming on out. This was the Car Inside 105, the season championship stake for Venom Truck Series. What a performance and what a show. It's always one thing you could never turn your eye on, and it was so much fun to watch. But unfortunately, we will be saying goodbye to them for now. But hopefully in due time, we will see them back out on the track. It's just a matter of time before they return, and we can't wait. But for now, from all of us here at PTM Racing TV, thank you so much to the Venom Truck Series, the fans at home, our producers, sponsors, friends, cameramen, everything for their support. We love you guys. We will see you next time when the green is out.